Whether you are ready or not, the return to the workplace is starting. Now, for some of you, it's full time back in the office. And for some of you, it's a return part time in the office, creating a hybrid office. For anyone making a change to how we've been working for the past 2 years, it is a stressful time again. So, this week's top 10 list is filled with tips from people who know what they're talking about. They've already made the transition back or starting to as well. And our first tip comes from Karen Rudy from Maitland, Florida. Karen reminds us to be kind to ourselves and others. Don't judge if someone chooses to wear a mask when they return to work. They may be or have immunocompromised people they need to be around, and they're doing whatever they need to do to stop the transmission of any germs. Just because you've decided one way or another, please don't assume that others are going to follow your lead. Be kind. Tina Wren from Arlington, Texas, reminds us that we shouldn't expect people to be exactly the same as they were before the pandemic and to try not to take things personally. Tina shares that she knows that isolation, anxiety, and fear turned her into an entirely different person. Tina is just now getting back to relatively where she was from 2 years ago. So be kind to yourself too, Tina. Number 3 comes from Boston, Massachusetts, and Jean Cuckoo. Jean says that for many of us, we won't have dedicated workspaces anymore. We need to plan accordingly and bring to work your own mouse, keyboard, headset, desk wipes, hand sanitizer, and mask. Think about all the things you need to work with, things that you don't want to share, and create a travel bag if you are working hybrid, and certainly a checklist to ensure that you don't forget anything. If you are going back and forth, I can't tell you how easy it is to forget things. I have forgotten to travel with my laptop charger many times. Kathleen Angel from Calgary, Alberta reminds us that we need to get outside for walks when we return to the office. Don't get caught up in the work all the time mentality and plan for time for yourself too, which might have been easier when we were at home. She reminds us to make lunch dates with people we haven't seen in a long time and make an intentional effort to reestablish those meaningful interactions that we have previously lost. Do fun things, put up pictures you like, buy a plant or flowers, and make your space pleasant. While our next tip was in jest, Muriel Wiedler from Geneva, Switzerland has a valid point. Muriel reminds us that we have gotten very used to controlled noises in the spaces we work at home. We may find that the standard office noises, such as ringing phones, people chatting too loudly, or even just a photocopy, may be annoying when we return to work. We may need to remind ourselves how to concentrate or tune out external noises so we can focus when we go back to the office. Others suggested using a white noise machine or noise canceling headphones might do the trick as well. Number 6 comes from Laura Thorwalt from Houston, Texas. Laura made welcome kits for each desk, including Lysol wipes, hand sanitizer, a mask, a little small plant, and chocolate. Laura shares that they are helpful safety items, a living thing, and candy. I happen to think that chocolate is a helpful safety item too, and it's a nice touch as well as necessary for the workplace. Vanessa Bauer from Sherwood Park, Alberta reminds us to ensure that you are familiar with the revised policies, the health screening, and other employer changes for this important new transition. Many things have changed, and don't assume you are aware of them all. Keep the stress level lower by reading up on everything that is sent your way prior to your return to the office. Number 8 is from Hélène Larac from Ottawa, Ontario. Hélène reminded us that we need to think about coffee and lunch breaks. When Hélène returned to work after 2 years, she didn't know what the options were. Would there be a fridge, a coffee maker, a microwave, or a dishwasher? How will you plan for your day? I know that I need my tea each morning. Will I be able to get that in the office, or will I have to go out for it? Which of course gets expensive quickly. Will you be able to eat lunch in the lunchroom, or has that disappeared? Will you need to bring your own dishes, an ice pack for your lunch kit? Will there be restaurants open nearby? Those simple bonuses we take for granted might be gone now. Victoria, BC, and Sheila Brown brings us to number 9. Sheila reminds us that it takes longer than you think to get back into the commuting routine. We probably need to shower in the morning now, put on pants and shoes, and all of that takes longer than you remember because most of us are out of practice doing that first thing in the morning. Traffic is likely to get worse in the morning as people are returning to work. Most people are remembering what it was like, and it all takes a little longer than before as we were out of practice. Give yourself a lot of time, just like when we started school again in the fall after a few months away. And our last tip is from many people. It is time to go shopping for new work clothes. Many of you have discovered that your old work clothes don't work anymore. I took the opportunity in COVID to lose a bunch of weight, and some of you found it. Either way, it is time to spruce up our wardrobes to what is comfortable and functional. Office casual has been redefined. But Elaine gave us a good idea for sprucing up our wardrobe. Instead of going and buying all new clothes, go to a thrift store instead. If you've gained weight, you might get back into your other clothes once you're back into your office routine, so don't spend a lot of money on the new clothes. If you lost weight, you could donate your old clothes for others to use as they are still good clothes. Either way, reinvigorate your return to work like we used to do for the first day of school, and keep the cost reasonable too by using a thrift store. I know that for many, you've been back either full-time or hybrid for a while. Some of you are never going back. The way we define going to work has changed. Don't assume that what you left is what you are going back to. It isn't. Now, we had way more than 10 suggestions this week, so check out our social media channels, look for the conversation thread, and continue to build. And good luck going back to work.